everyone, and welcome back to the Shed of Dread. It is I, the Gobster. Let's get into another one. So, Chris Packham, that guy who used to do, and probably still does do, nature programs before I grew up and ignored the idiot, has came out on Channel 4. You know, Channel 4 that did that thing about Russell Brand, and now bringing out a program where he's inciting violence and civil disobedience. See, because that's okay, isn't it? Oh, no, it really is okay, because it's the message they want you to have shoved down your throat. It's perfectly okay for him to do that. Now, if I went on there and started saying, well, I don't think these people are right about these green things, and if you see them on the road, run them over. There you go. By the way, that was hypothetical before somebody strikes this one down. But if they do, that just proves the point, doesn't it? He went on Channel 4 and basically is condoning violence for climate change in the UK. I still have an issue why our tiny little weeny island that produces 0.0000001% of the entire world's carbon dioxide pollution, apparently pollution, should have to punish itself and be the world leader when the rest of the world doesn't give a shit. India doesn't care, Brazil doesn't care, China doesn't care, Russia doesn't care. You know, China, when you can fit, I don't know, 6 billion of our little islands in their thing, and they're still pumping crap out. North Korea doesn't care. In fact, many poor countries won't care, because if you want to tackle global emergency, which there isn't, by the way, is you need to tackle poverty first. Because if you say to a poor person, you can't use that because you're damaging the planet, and they'll go, well, that's cheap, and what you're giving me I can't afford, so I need heating and I need to cook my food, so I'm burning that coal, so fuck you, goodbye. Then you're never going to solve it. But let's be brutally honest, there's a big hoo-ha now because, when we're pushing back not making petrol and diesel cars in the UK, we're pushing it back from 2030 to 2035. Oh, you're disgusting. I mean, the fact the Germans did that 6 months ago without a whimper, because the Germans have also realised that you can't do it. There is no way in hell that I can afford to buy an electric car, and even if I could, I won't, because they're just not worth it. But of course, remember, due to Sky News, just showing a little bit more of how stupid and dumb the media are, apparently we shouldn't worry about that, because we shouldn't push it back, because let's be brutally honest, poor people don't drive. No, and that was actually said that, Kemi Bannock, who was on there, literally slapped the Sky reporter down and said that you were an idiot, basically. But no, that's their honest mindset. Well, the poor don't drive. Yeah, they don't drive. Blah, blah, blah. Which is the media putting its own spin on everything again. But people can't afford it. I mean, the boilers, we've all got gas boilers. And they want to force us. Not tell us, force us to have our gas boilers ripped out and put heat pumps. The British Gas won't install because they're inefficient. Also, no offence, they're quite big. And they're also fucking noisy, because basically what you're doing is strapping a huge fan to the side of your house. They also, and I know this for a fact because in my house, just over the road, just there, I have a new tumble dryer, and my new tumble dryer is a heat pump, so it uses less energy. Now, this is a great thing until you read the manual. Now, if the temperature drops below 5 degrees centigrade in my kitchen, which if we have a really hard winter because I can't afford to keep the gas heater running all the time because it's too fucking expensive, if it did, it won't work. In fact, you need an ambient temperature, I think it's about 14 to 16 degrees centigrade for it to work at optimal efficiency. Anything below that, it doesn't work very well. If it drops below 5, it won't work at all. And that's a little version of the big version that they want to stick on the side of your house. They won't work in the United Kingdom because, let's be honest, although it's It hasn't been for the last couple of times. You know, we sometimes get temperatures of -4 or -5. So if it doesn't work at 5, it's not going to do shit all at -5. So what we're doing is we're making the poor people freeze to fucking death, while us rich people don't give a shit about that. Also remember that you also, if you have a heat pump, have to have the world's most awesomely perfectly insulated building known to man. The vast majority of buildings in the United Kingdom are anything but that. I mean, mine's got double glazing and it's, you know, cavity wall insulation and the loft's insulated, but it still leaks air in because they're not built that way. This house that I live in at the moment was built in the 1950s. It's not designed, it wasn't designed for that. It really wasn't. So if you dunk a huge heat pump on my house, I'm going to freeze. It's that simple. I mean, we're already looking, and this is, you know, cost of living times, which is probably why they think maybe we should push it back a bit, but they don't want it. I mean, Labour won't. Labour will bring it back and just cripple the entire country. Because, like, this winter's coming. I can't afford to run my gas heaters, my gas boiler, for that long. It costs me a fortune now just to have showers. I have a large family. Currently living in my house at the moment are 2 adults and 4 children. With school and that, they have to have showers. My gas bill is astronomical just on the showers. So you can guarantee yourself 100%, and guarantee you now, that we will not be running the gas in the house hardly at all. Because I can't afford it. But it's okay, we'll get rid of the gas boilers, put a heat pump. What does the heat pump run off? Electric. Right, so now my electric bill's going to go through the roof. I mean, just imagine how much your electric bill's going to be with your heat pump running, which doesn't work very well at 5 degrees centigrade, and I'm charging my electric car on the drive. Oh, and the fact that they also know that if everybody had an electric car and plugged it in and turned it on to charge it, the fucking grid would explode because it can't deal with it. And if you don't believe that, take a look at California, where they've got a lot more electric cars than everywhere else. I think they have about 35 to 40% electric cars, and they're now told not to charge them on certain days because it burns the grid out. We're coming up with all these wonderful, fantastic ideas to save the planet that doesn't really need saving, because this is called cycles. Back in the 70s, we all thought we were going to freeze to death. Now we're all going to boil to death. Guess what? It won't be long before we all start to... And this is what they'll say. Oh, we've saved the planet. Look, we've all done this and everything's great. No, it isn't. We're all poorer. We're all dying from the cold. So the rich people can stay rich. And it'll change because that's what the Earth does. At the moment, the Earth rotates around the sun on an elliptical orbit and we're closer to the sun than we normally are. So therefore, it's fucking hotter. Duh, it's not hard. Back in the 70s, we were further away. So it was colder. Yeah. Put a heater on. Stand next to the heater. How long can you stand there before your legs are burning? Yeah, and then go and stand, I don't know, 6 feet away. How long does it take for your legs to warm up? There they are. That's it. It's that simple. The whole idea of it is to destroy us as people, to make us 100% reliant. We would all freeze to death. We wouldn't have any power. We wouldn't have an electric. Oh, well, we're destroying the planet, says Chris Packham, the violent insurrection inciter, which is exactly what he is, because he'll do whatever it takes to save the planet. Really? Now, I don't know about you, but anything, I will do anything it takes. Kind of a threat. He actually quite clearly says, as he does in the Channel 4 promotion, that he thinks violence is the only way to get people to listen. I couldn't say that, could I? In any case, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the like button. Up there is my social media. You can catch me on both of those. I'm done, and all you need to do is get out of my shed, which, by the way, has no heating, skinned walls, the old original 1950s windows in, a wooden door with a gap in. And I sit here freezing. If you go back on my old videos, you can see I'm freezing in here. I don't want to, but I expect that in here. I Don't expect to have to do that in my house, but that's how it's going to be. Am I going to have to get this? Yeah, this is how I survive out here in the winter. I put a sleeping bag on my legs wrapped around me. I don't want to do that in my house. So, and that's my option. Either that or I bankrupt myself. So, think on. Chris Packham is a knobhead. He's also an inciter. And with that, I really do mean it. Please, get out my shed. Get back in your warm house while you still can.